My name is Olena Weber, and you're listening to Talk with Olena podcast for immigration practitioners in Canada. All right, so today I'm sharing with you 5 tips on how to transition from a newbie RCIC to a successful business owner, CEO of an immigration firm. So this podcast episode will be especially useful for those who just got their RCIC license in the last 2 years. Before I go on with my 5 tips, I want to tell you that I'm opening the doors to my RCIC Business Accelerator 2.0, and the sales will open on Monday, April 15th. And the program itself will start on April 30th. So if you do want to explore my program, read about it, you can go to the link in bio, and you can also sign up for the wait list. So yeah, check it out. I would be happy to chat with you. You can shoot me a message in LinkedIn if you have any questions about my program. All right, so today we're talking about 5 tips on how to successfully transition from a newbie RCIC to a successful CEO. All right, so my tip number 1 is actually a very counterintuitive tip. And my tip number 1 is that as a newbie RCIC, don't take too many cases on your plate. So I say this because I was in your shoes. I started my business in 2016, my RCIC business in 2016. And what happened is that I was super excited to get things going, and very quickly, within a couple of months, I found myself with just crazy number of cases and crazy number of consultations, which most of those were free at that time because I was just providing free consultations. Starting business can be very overwhelming all on its own, right? Like getting your license as RCIC, setting up your corporation, setting up your banking, doing your first retainer, figuring out your templates for questionnaires for clients, like all of these things, like probably getting your first website, business cards, like the list goes on. It can be super overwhelming, but it's all exciting as well. The thing is that how things usually go is that young RCICs, the ones that just started their careers, they set up things very quickly. They're very excited, and in a very short period of time, in a matter of a couple of months, what they do, they find themselves literally swamped with cases, swamped with consultations, and they start working like 15 hours hours per day. They logically, the next thought, what they think is that, well, look, I'm so swamped with cases, I just need to hire people. And this is the biggest mistake which you can make, hiring too soon. Okay, so if you're swamped with cases, if you're swamped with consultations, it's great news. It means that you're doing really well as a new RCIC, and you should first of all celebrate that. But at the second point is that you should first of all find the point where business would be sustainable in terms of just your own business without any assistance or any staff, right? So what you should do, you should first of all look into your pricing policy of consultations, pricing policy for your cases, and most importantly, what type of cases and from what type of customers are you taking into processing? I find that this one of the most challenging parts as new RCICs, because naturally new RCICs would be taking any type of case that comes their way, and that's totally reasonable, and you should be doing that. But within a little bit of time, once you start feeling overwhelmed and swamped, you should really closely look into your pricing and really closely look into your service line. I call it service line, meaning what type of cases are you taking. So hiring people is actually not a right answer unless you've been practicing for more than 1 year. I really don't recommend hiring staff if you've been practicing less than 1 year. So taking things slowly is actually a right approach, even though to me it is super counterintuitive because I am a very fast person. I want to get results fast. I want to get things done fast. I'm very result driven and result oriented person. That's why probably, I didn't really follow my own advice back in the days, back in 2016, 2017. I was swamped with cases and with consultations, but at the same time, I was struggling with financial part of things and making things meet ends, right? So this is number one tip, is that take things slowly, and speed is not a goal. To become CEO of the year as soon as possible, it's actually not the goal. The goal here, as a new RCIC, as a new business owner, the goal is to build sustainable business, sustainable and consistent business. This is the goal. Most of RCICs that grow super fast, that develop their practice super fast, that they hire, I've seen those RCICs that they would hire 2 assistants, 3 assistants at a time, and they grow their team to 10 people. Unfortunately, but most of those firms, as fast that they grew, as fast that they go into or already went down, because they cannot sustain the growth. Because if the systems were not built correctly from the beginning, if the business was not sustainable, was not consistent from the beginning, then guess what? You're not going to manage or able to manage this machine when you have your employees, right? So that's my advice number one. Think things through. The goal is sustainability, consistency. That's the goal, not the speed. Even though if you are in this position, I'm super happy that you have high demand. I'm very happy for you, but the way to manage that demand is not to hire people, is to develop systems that would help you manage that demand. Look into your pricing, look into your case line, look into your processing, how you process cases, where you spend your time, where you don't spend your time, and that would really help you. Now, tip number two, as a new RCIC, well, not everybody has a big boom of cases right away. Some people do, some new RCICs do, but some new RCICs really struggle with the marketing part of things. And what I would suggest is don't be afraid to experiment. In terms of marketing, in terms of sales, in terms of brand awareness. So your goal, if you're in business for 1 to 2 years, so I would say under any time under 2 years, your goal is to build brand awareness. What that means is that you need to spend a lot of time on your marketing so you can attract the right clients. You know what? It's very simple to attract clients on free consultations or, very, very cheap visitor visas, for example. If you do like $300 visitor visa for your parents. I'm not saying it's a bad strategy, but I really challenge that strategy because my main question would be, are you getting the right type of clients for your business? In the long term, I'm not sure if that's the right type of client. So I would say that work on building your brand awareness, your marketing activities. You should be doing a lot of marketing to get the right type of clients. Who are the right type of clients? Those are probably clients for big PR cases like express entries, provincial nominee programs, LMIAs. Those are good, right type of clients for big cases. So this is probably what your business wants in the long term, is to focus on those high priced retainers. So you should, as a new RCIC, you should be really like not afraid to experiment. Do some events, like reach out to your nonprofit organizations in your area or in your community and do some webinars, do some events. Let people know who you are, spread the word about who you are. Reach out to English schools and ask them, hey, can I do a free event for your students? Reach out to French schools and do the same if you are, especially if you are a French speaker. But even if you're not, participate in every single event, every single collaboration. Reach out to anybody that you know that has audience online, and just be very active on internet, and be very active just with your marketing and with spreading the word around that, like, hey, I do immigration now. I'm licensed to do immigration now. That's very important, because I want you to not only have a stable flow of clients, but also have a stable flow of good clients, meaning the retainer agreements that will provide you with job security, will provide you with a stable revenue, and that's the goal: stability, sustainability, consistency. But to do those things, you need marketing system, and you need to do marketing activities on, consistently, that you can reach those that financial stability, right? So you can get retainers, you can get high-paying clients. So that's my advice, is that don't take marketing for granted. So that's biggest really learning lesson here. Don't get marketing for granted. Marketing, it is actually hard work, and to get good retainers, it takes work. So marketing has to be consistent, and don't forget to just experiment. If you have some new ideas that nobody's doing, then absolutely do it, because you need to show your unique side of you, right, in terms of marketing. Now, the third tip would be to constantly work on your competency. As a new RCIC, it's one of your biggest goals is to work on your competency, develop your competency in certain case types. So what I suggest is that pick 3 case types. So for example, Express Entry, Ontario PNP Spousal Sponsorship, that's our firm's case types, but it can be anything for you. Pick 3 case types and start watching CPDs, start developing your competency in those 3 case types. Why? Because if you're working on your competency, on your knowledge, on your actual ability to perform work correctly, to file cases correctly, guess what's gonna happen? Your cases are going to be worth way more than other people's cases, because you would be professional in this, you would be specializing in these cases. One thing that I did back in the days in 2016, I right away established my brand as a Express Entry brand. I said that the only thing I do Express Entry. I don't do spousal sponsorship. I don't do Ontario PNPs. Only thing I do is Express Entry. Till this day, people know me as Express Entry expert, because right in the beginning, I established myself with that program. And it is very important, because by doing that, you're actually becoming a better professional, because you get to experience more cases, you get to go into depth with these programs, and you get to charge higher fees if you're a better expert than somebody else. So competency is very important. And of course, every single RCIC should be taking a case only when they're competent. But if you really want to increase eventually in the long run, you want to keep increasing your fees, then you need to keep increasing level of your competency and what you bring to the table when you're working with a client. So this is very, very important. Now, the 4th tip goes hand in hand with this, which is as a new RCIC, you need to recognize your own value. New RCICs, unfortunately but truly, suffer with imposter syndrome. And you know what? Not even new RCICs, all RCICs suffer with imposter syndrome. And doesn't matter how good you are at what you do, we all tend to doubt our knowledge, and we all tend to really lower down our value and think that our work is less valuable than actually what it is. So I would want to encourage you to think about your value, what you bring to the table, the knowledge that you bring to the table, the service that you bring to the table when you're serving your client. And I'm a true believer that nobody should be providing free consultations, nobody should be providing free services, because it really devalues your knowledge, your worth of your knowledge, devalues your service. And I just really don't think it's a good idea for you as a new RCIC or for the whole industry if somebody provides free consultation. And not because we want to rip off poor immigrants or rip off anybody really. No, it's because free consultations, they devalue our services and they devalue what our knowledge, right? Because what I know right now, it's not because I got my license or because I read a lot of smart books. What I know right now is my experience of working on more than right now 800 cases that with my own hands I submitted. This is my knowledge, and this is what we're charging for, right? So providing free consultations, it's just devalues, everything, your work and other consultants' work. So please don't do that. You should appreciate yourself. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that if you do free services, free consultation, then I think you don't appreciate yourself. That being said, you can do pro bono cases. You can help refugees, you can help Ukrainian immigrants, Turkish immigrants, Syrian immigrants, or any other type of immigrants that you would like to serve. Pro bono cases are absolutely fine, but those cases, they are case-by-case basis, and only, pro bono consultations also. You can do them, of course, but not as a regular practice, not as something that you do on daily basis, right? So that's very, very important. And the bottom line is that when somebody asks for anything like, other consultants provide free consultations, I just say simply, sorry, we don't work for free. Because the reality is that, we all need to, by the end of the day, it's not a secret that we run a business. If I wanted to, or you want to maybe establish a nonprofit, you can absolutely do it, and I can do it, right? But that would be a nonprofit. I'm incorporated, and it is a place of business, and I value and appreciate my knowledge, and you should do the same. All right, and then the next tip, the final tip, number 5, is learn from those who are ahead of you. Learn from those who are ahead of you professionally, in a sense of, again, knowledge of immigration law, competency. Learn from them. You should not perceive other immigration consultants as a competition. I don't want you to be in that insecure position. We're not competitors. We can learn from each other. We can benefit each other. We can get the whole industry up to benefit immigrants, right? We should not be against each other or intimidated. So I don't want you to be in that insecure position when you're intimidated by other immigration consultants, because if you are, and I've been there as well. I've been there when I've been intimidated professionally by other immigration consultants. But you know what I would do next? I would force myself, even though I would have that like a little bit of a toxic feeling. And right away, I can feel it. I'm like, oh, that feels so toxic, because I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel insecure. I would reach out to that immigration consultant and introduce myself, and I would say, hey, do you mind if we just chat over coffee for 5 minutes? Can I learn from you? Can you teach me? And I'm not saying, actual like training session, but like 5 minute, 10-minute coffee, like just even a conversation in LinkedIn. Like, hey, can you tell me what's the biggest tip you can offer me in terms of, running a business or express entry or whatever it is, right? And like instantly, you stop feeling insecure, your toxic feelings are behind, because normally people are so generous with their time and their knowledge, and it's just such a warm feeling to talk to those who are ahead of you and truly just say like, hey, I admire your work, you're doing so well, I just want to say I admire. And that is it's just much better approach. So I want to encourage you to do that and learn, ask for help, learn from those who are ahead. I've been experiencing only good things in our RCIC community in terms of peer support. So I encourage you to reach out and just learn from those who are ahead of you, immigration law wise, or business wise. Or personally wise, just, reach out to other RCICs or immigration lawyers. Don't be afraid, don't be intimidated, and don't spread that, competition vibe. We don't want that vibe. We want more like a peer vibe, Okay, yeah, so those are 5 tips. 5 tips, hopefully they'll help you, especially if you're newly licensed RCIC. Let me know, what do you think? If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in comments, please. What do you think about it? If you're more experienced RCIC, tell me what was the struggle for you when you were just starting your career. And just a reminder that if you want to learn about my RCIC Business Accelerator program, you can click the link below and sign up for a wait list. The sales open on 15th of April, and that is Monday. And then on the 30th of April, we will start the actual coaching program. All right, thank you so much for tuning in today, and then I will talk to you next week. Next week, we have a juicy episode coming up.